Hey everybody, this is Cherokee Edwards from Cherokee Edwards Inspires, where we're going to have shows here to talk about life, to talk about what makes your life special, what makes it better, and everybody working together, because together everyone achieves more. Acronym for the word team. Stay tuned and let's get it on. All right, welcome to the Cherokee Edwards Inspires, and we have our first guest and a very good friend of mine, Vicki Vawter, for Here for the Girls. And we came to you about a month or so ago, a couple months ago, and we talked about an event, Vicki, if you remember. And welcome to the show again.
Thanks for having me, Cherokee.
Oh man, it's a pleasure. Well, you know what? We got a pandemic going on.
We sure do.
It's real, isn't it?
It is very real.
Good
Wow.
gracious.
Wow.
I tell you, of all the things that I thought about your events, because the first thing you think about when you hear about tragedy or something that's going on wrong is you need something positive to sink your teeth into. And whenever somebody's doing something or an organization is doing something for people out of love, you actually want to turn your sights to that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy to have you on here on the Cherokee Edwards Inspires podcast. So
thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I thank you for coming on. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. How is this pandemic affecting Here for the Girls?
Wow. So it's affected us in so many different ways. On the lower level, and I'll say the most not as important level is the fundraising, because even though we need that to continue, it's still always about our women. So on the first level, I would say, fundraising. We've had lots of events that were planned, as most people can relate to, whether it be a fundraiser, an event, a wedding, a gathering, a reunion, what have you. Everything's been postponed, and some of those events are canceled altogether, and that's funds that we won't ever receive. Other events have been rescheduled, which is so awesome, because our community has really stepped up in that way and decided, you know what, we're not just going to let this go. We're going to reschedule it for another time. We're still going to make it happen. And so seeing a lot of that in the nonprofit world. And then there's our signature event that we had scheduled for the 17th of April, which is our annual golf tournament. That has been rescheduled as well to July 24th. Fingers crossed.
Right.
That will still be happening. Hopefully, if things have lightened up somewhat, the idea that it is still outdoors. In fact, golf courses, a lot of them are still open.
Yeah.
That might be. We just have to do it in a different way. But on the most important level, the things that have really changed due to this pandemic is the services to our women. The first thing that came to our mind was, what about our in-person support groups?
Right.
They're not able to do that. They've already now had one entire month where we have changed and gone from in-person to virtual.
Right.
And that is going into April and beyond. And we really, I got to give my team just so much credit. We jumped in all hands on deck to figure out how to fast track this virtual world in a matter of a week. And, it was something we've been thinking about doing for a long time, so we can support more people virtually across the country, but we didn't expect to do it now, right away.
Right.
So our program team has been in constant contact for the last 3 weeks with 4 weeks really, with all of the facilitators that lead these in-person groups. Some of them don't even own tablets, so
right.
We're trying to figure it out how to do it. And so we've been doing a lot of IT investigative work,
right,
and trying to figure out, how do you make something so intimate like it was before when you're not together.
Right.
And what we have found is that they are embracing it. They are really trying to figure out ways to do so. We've had some women join on that didn't get to attend in-person support groups before because perhaps they didn't have a working vehicle. Perhaps they're a single mother. Perhaps they just have something else in their work schedule or their kids' schedule that couldn't make that third Wednesday of the month work. So now those things have been canceled and they can. And so we are seeing some really positive aspects of this virtual switch.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is our annual retreat every year. And it's for almost 90 women. It's a 3-day wellness weekend that does miraculous things for these ladies. We have taken a wellness weekend for 90 women and professional speakers and turned it virtual.
Wow.
So, and we are working on that now too. So we are working now more than we were before COVID-19. But I think it's going to work. They're gonna still get their packages in the mail with all sorts of goodies to help them make this weekend as best as it can be. We are actually now, because it's virtual, we actually can bring in more speakers and people that can talk and answer questions and offer information. We've been doing one session this week online just to help them with the whole CARES Act and what it means to them if they have questions, just trying to do anything to try to ease their worries, ease the stress beyond what they're already dealing with.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, just in case there's new audience, and I'm sure there are, that are listening to this podcast, let's tell the audience exactly what it is that you do and why you do this again.
Absolutely. We Here for the Girls is a nonprofit improving the lives of young women affected by breast cancer, and we do that through in-person support as well as virtual support. In fact, right now it's all virtual support.
That's right.
At least for the time being. But in whatever way we can do that, we serve women who've been initially diagnosed under the age of 51. Serve women anywhere, and we get most of our referrals from the medical community, from doctors' offices, from nurse navigators, from mastectomy boutiques around the areas that we serve, and we get a lot of people that join us that find us online. So it's really an incredible organization. It's been around for about 13 years, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it.
Right. Well, and I know you and I are very close, and the audience doesn't know you, but you are so passionate and driven by what you do. What was the inspiration? I mean, obviously, I know a little bit about you, but tell the audience what inspired you to get into it so deep the way you are now.
Well, it's a little bit by accident. On one hand, my mother always taught me, if you can help, you should. And I believe at the time that I first got involved with this cause, I was a little bit more just involved in my own world, and sort of came across this idea to get involved in a fundraiser called the Avon Walk, which was a 39-mile walk to benefit women wanting to get free mammograms that are not insured. They do a lot with research and things, and I wasn't real sure, and I didn't know a lot about the cause at the time, but it looked like something worthwhile. It looked like something that certainly had something to do with someone else other than myself. And for a change, I felt at that time, and it looked like something that could help get me in shape. So I just sort of fell into that. And in the process of doing so, I met Mary Beth Gibson and Renee Bowditch, who are the co-founders for this organization, and they're somewhat aligned in some ways. And once I met them, we were in the midst of fundraising for this walk, and I decided to figure out how I'm going to raise the money to be a participant, which at the time was $1,800, and I had done a little bit of fundraising, like with PTA and Girl Scouts and things like that, but with my kids. But it was definitely something new to me, and on a bigger scale. And so my husband and I decided to put together a golf tournament. That would have been 13 years ago now, and we put together a golf tournament, just got all of our friends to join in, and it was pretty successful our first year, and it kept getting more and more successful year after year. But even from year one of that golf tournament, we raised more money than we expected, and donated some of it to Here for the Girls, which at the time was going under the name Beyond Boobs because they hadn't yet expanded.
Right.
And so the first year we were able to benefit them. The second year the golf tournament was able to benefit them even more. And by the third year, Mary Beth Gibson approached me and said, we're going to actually start hiring people now. We want you to help us with fundraising year round. So that's how it all started. And I feel very blessed to have even been introduced to the organization. I don't think it was by accident, but it was definitely something that was at the right time for me. And then it just sort of bloomed from there. I've been privileged. I've been able to watch this organization grow from almost the ground up.
Wow. So basically, I know you set goals for what you want to see happen, and you guys had a whole roster for 2020, I remember. But what are some of the long-term goals that you see Here for the Girls doing?
Well, one of the long-term goals was to provide more virtual support, which we're doing right now, but we're fast-tracking it.
Right.
It's definitely one of the big ones.
Right.
Another one is that we were granted a wonderful, wonderful grant through Huntington Ingalls last year to provide us with a redo of our website and to build a portal for our members. And this is really important because this will provide not only a way for our members to get into the organization, get more involved with each other, engage with each other more, but it will also be providing a huge amount of resources for them that we can put together on all kinds of subjects. This is where we're really now involving more of the health systems that have been supporting us for so many years financially. We're able to allow them to provide content and videos and things that, of that nature that they could use for all aspects of their journey. And so that's something that we're really, really, really excited about. And then these retreats that I mentioned are expanding as well. We're going to be looking at having more of them. We have one retreat in June that is just for our metastatic population. These are women with incurable breast cancer,
right.
And they have very, very specific and very different needs than someone else who's perhaps stage 1 or stage 0 or something like that. So we have that going on. We want to really expand even more so on what those metastatic women need. We've already started that this year, but plan to do a lot more of that in the coming years. So it's really important to remember that we're learning this now that we've been around, and we see how these women start one place and end another, and they go through transitional phases of support that they need, and so one person may need one thing and another person may need something else, and so that's what we're trying to learn more about. We've brought on a licensed clinical social worker to the staff, which is humongous because we're not.
Right.
But they have that has been we're calling our psychosocial support team. We've got a couple of interns coming on next year, just finishing up one now, but having 2 more come on next in the fall.
Right.
Master's level interns in social work from VCU, and so we've really we're bringing in people that know even more than we do, and being able to work that into the different things that our women need.
Okay. Well, this is really interesting, and I'm so glad that we can do some things. We're going to take a station break for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, Vicki, we are back with the group and the Cherokee Edwards Inspires podcast. And one of the things that I want to talk about a little bit now is, what would you say the most valuable lesson that you took from Here for the Girls? What is something that it makes you get out of bed every day and push this thing like you do?
I think that I've gotten to know these women so well. All of us on the team have, and when you meet someone and you get to know someone who is trying to live their life beyond breast cancer, and during this process, you realize that it is not the little things. You cannot let the little things get to you. You've got to take advantage of every single day.
Right.
And I definitely, I see that more with these women than anything else. They inspire me so much, but I feel like I've taken some of that myself, because I really do. I appreciate things a whole lot more now than I did before I got involved with this organization. And these women are living it. Their strength, their courage. You know, they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask to be a part of our group.
No.
This is the club nobody really wants to join.
Yeah, nobody wants to join this one.
but they are here, and they are building new friendships with each other. They call each other their Boober sisters, and they really are. They come in and they do not take life for granted. We do another thing. I didn't mention this before, but we have another thing that our women like to do sometimes together. It's called hip check activities, and HIP stands for Hope, Inspiration, and Power. And each of our groups get a little bit of funding from us every year, because none of the retreats, none of the support groups, none of that costs any money to them. That's all stuff that we pay for. And one of the benefits is these hip check activities, and these are things that they go out and do that they would have never done before.
Right.
Whether it is riding on a horse, whether it is trying out flyboarding or jet skiing, whether it's going to a music therapy class, or trying out painting, or anything. I mean, there's just so many different things that they do, and it's a chance for them to get away from just the talking about their needs with each other and just enjoying their lives. And that's incredible to watch, because just the smiles are amazing. So they have taught me a lot in the years that I've been involved.
That's amazing. I recall, to give everybody a personal note on this, I recall us going to the William and Mary game a couple months ago, and all your girls were there, and we took pictures and we talked, and they had so much fun. It was just amazing. It was amazing to spend time with you and your family and your girls. It was, I was so glad to be there. So these are
come do that again. We got to get you involved in some of that again. It is a lot of fun to meet them, and they love meeting people who are such champions for what we do. So
yeah, that was amazing. I really was taken up by it and filled up with love to see you interact with them and to watch it happen. It's one thing when you talk about it in our business meetings and network meetings, and I watch you speak about that several times over and over. But it's something so special when your eyes get to witness all the work that you put in and the things that you talk about, doing things with the girls. I know that you guys have a project for beach. I think it's for the beach. What was it called?
The Boober Beach Takeover.
You gotta say it again, because I started laughing before you finished. Tell them what it is.
It is the annual Boober Beach Takeover, and it is a org-wide hip check activity that for the last several years, a wonderful man named Justin, who runs Great White Water Sports in Ocean View, he and his team allow us to come in, and they charge us very little for what we get, and they allow us to come in and take over the beach, and they provide these ladies with all kinds of activities, paddle boarding, canoeing, jet skiing, flyboarding, all kinds of things. And some, they did just have a great time, and most of them have never done anything like this, and so it's just a chance. And so we have women come all the way from probably about 100-mile radius of different ladies that come for that, and it's just a lot of fun. We've done that. We provide them lunch and some shade and some activities and some fun.
And go crazy. Turn them loose.
Crazy.
Oh, man. I love it. Well, I know that our company is sponsoring a trip for you, and I hope that others around, hey, God's going to bring us through this, and we can't sit here and be pessimistic about things we cannot control, but these are the things to look forward to. I mean, because I'm looking forward to working beside you on a great many things, but I tell you what, I'd like you to take some time now. I know I get to see you, so I get spoiled. I get to be around you once a week. But the people that don't, and they may feel like we do, they may have hearts as big as ours, but they don't know how to get involved to help, or where to go to get involved and help, and who to contact. Can you give us a rundown on the best way to get in touch with you, Vicki, in your organization?
Certainly, yes. Our website is hereforthegirls.org. And on that website, there's a couple of different links that you might be interested in. Probably the biggest one is get involved and donate, of course. But get involved will show you all about the different events that are coming up. You can go to an online calendar. You can see the different things that are happening. You can schedule a fundraiser with us. We call that Going Beyond Pink. You can volunteer. You can volunteer at any of our signature events. And some of our Go Beyond Pink events also need volunteers. We have volunteers that come in on Tuesdays, that especially women who are retired and want to come in and help out with different activities. We'll be starting that back up after COVID-19 is over. Right. And then we have people that do behind the work scenes too, that have just really special skills, that are working on projects for us behind the scenes, either from a financial standpoint, and accounting, maybe it's project management, helping like with, we've got one volunteer in particular that's a huge part of that big retreat we talked about, but she does it all behind the scenes. So there's lots and lots of things you can do. But I would say hereforthegirls.org is your place to go. And especially if you know of anyone who's been diagnosed under the age of 51 initially, no matter where they are, we can support them. You send them right to that website, go to the support page, and there's a welcome form, and that comes right to me and my team, and we take it from there.
Wow, that's amazing. And everyone, I just hope that you, within the sound of our voices, get in and make a difference. I heard Vicki say one time before, it's not just enough to wear that pink ribbon on your shirt that you get in October. Just doing that is, it's cool that you have it on there, but it's better the more you do things. Would you agree with that, Vicki?
Absolutely. I mean, I think everybody's aware. I mean, that pink ribbon's been flying around for a long time, and I'm grateful that there is all of that awareness. But we really want people to take awareness to action.
Yes.
And that is not just about raising money and donating, although we would be so thrilled to have you do that. But it is also about getting involved and meeting us, meeting our women, volunteering, like you're doing Cherokee and donating a package to our golf tournament. I mean, that's going to make such a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's a golf trip for golfers. I mean, they're going to love that.
Yes.
And that translates into, to dollars. And so everybody can do something. There's no question about that. If nothing else, your podcast here, that's what we're talking about, is inspiring others. And I just would, I would say I was inspired 13 years ago to get involved in this organization, having no idea what I was really getting into. And it actually ended up being as much a benefit to me as it is to the women I help.
And I can see it. I mean, it's obvious. It glows on you. You pulled me in, and host of others are, of course, our cutting edge. I mean, our leading edge, shout out to that. We stay on the cutting edge, but, we're like a family, and it's it's just one of those things where each one teach one, so we all reach one. I think that's so important, because I may not have spent this kind of time or brought this kind of attention to Here for the Girls. I mean,
right.
You and I, our offices are not far away from each other, and I didn't realize that until a while later, and I was just so happy to know that you're that close, and I can participate and keep participating, and then bring others in. Guys, we've got to do this as a family. It takes a village. It takes a village, not just to raise a child, but to make change.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. You got it.
Well,
we're in this together.
We're in this together.
I'm hearing a lot lately, but you know what? It's all year, every year. We're all in this together.
Yeah, it doesn't take COVID-19. It shouldn't take COVID-19 for us to say, hey, let's reach out and give our neighbor, our family, a helping hand. We're on the same rock together.
You're right. Absolutely, Cherokee. You got it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, that's our time for today. And Vicki, thank you so much for coming on here and again discussing with me and the audience about what Here for the Girls actually stands for, what it means, what your vision is, and what your company's vision is. And is there anything you'd like to leave everybody on their mind, leave something on their mind to think about in these times?
Well, I just would say that keep us in mind, keep all the nonprofits in mind right now. It's a hard time for them, for all of us. And I think we could all do something, to help our community. And as far as Here for the Girls is concerned, if we can ever support someone that is important to you, someone that you love, please send them to us. That's what we're here for. And if it's on your heart to try to be a part of this cause, whether you have a direct connection or not, I did not in the beginning at all. You don't need to. There are lots and lots of ways to get involved, and we'd love to meet you. So check us out, hereforthegirls.org, or send me an email. You can find me on that main site as well, and we'd love to get to know you.
Well, you know what? I thank God for you. I thank God for your organization, your heart, your drive. And I thank God that I'm here able to jump in and give a helping hand. And I tell you guys, we all need to do this. So with that being said, we're going to sign off. Thank you guys for joining us again on the Cherokee Edwards Inspires, and Vicki Vawter for Here for the Girls. Thank you so much, darling.
Thank you, Cherokee, so much for having us, and everyone else you have on the show.
All right. You be safe. God bless. And I love you.
Love you too.
All right.